the draft today, the most important matchups for week 2, and I get the first pick since you got the trivia question wrong, and I'm going to go with the Washington football team. Their pass rush versus Kyler Murray. That is a critical matchup for determining who's going to come out of that game 2-0. The Cardinals won last week. Washington won last week with 8 sacks. Can Kyler Murray stay clean this week against Chase Young and Ryan Kerrigan and Montez Sweat and everyone else they have who can come after you? 5 first-round picks in that pass rush, Chris. Can Kyler Murray, the first overall pick last year, 2019, can he avoid them? That's going to be one of the big issues for week 2.
Yeah, agreed. It was one of the ones I had towards the top of my list, too. Can he avoid those big, awesome physical freaks and not let them ruin the game like they did last week for the Eagles and everything like that? And I think we're both expecting Kyler Murray to be smart enough, elusive enough, and they have enough of a quick passing game to where I think we're thinking they won't get a bunch of sacks on him, but we'll see. He lives dangerously, and we know he's a playmaker, so that might, end up him keeping the ball a few times, thinking he can make a play, and he doesn't get around the corner or whatever it is. All right, I'm going to go to our Sunday night matchup. How about Cam Newton versus Jamal Adams? I like that a whole lot. And I know this is a lot deeper than just those two guys, but it just sounds better when I just pick those two. I mean, yeah, this is Josh McDaniels versus Pete Carroll, too. Matching of wits, how are you going to stop my new run attack and all these things I do with Cam Newton. And the reason I picked Jamal Adams is because I think he's going to be an integral part of being that guy. Just like we saw last week, he's all around the line of scrimmage. He's blitzing off the edge. He's blitzing between the guard and tackle gap. He's the guy that goes sideline to sideline and runs everybody down. I think that a lot of the time Seattle will set things up to go, hey, you got a gap, you got a gap, you got a gap, and we've all got our gaps. And we've all set it up that way so Jamal Adams can come through and clean up the trash. Just let him go run around and make the tackle. And I think that's the way they're kind of setting up their deal a little bit to do that too. So that's where I'm very interested to see this. Seattle always is stop the run first. And New England right now is old school and goes, no, we're running. We don't give a damn what you do. And it's going to be a little test of wills there that I'm very excited to see.
I had that game on my list, but not that matchup. I went broader, big picture, Bill Belichick versus Pete Carroll. Yeah. Pete Carroll turned 69 the other day. Belichick in that same age range. Pete Carroll said yesterday he's on a 5-year plan, so he's going to keep coaching. Belichick's going to keep coaching. Carroll was previously the Patriots coach and was fired. Really didn't turn his career around until he went to USC, and I remember how criticized that move was when they hired him. People thought, oh, we're going to stink now. Well, Pete Carroll's been one of the best coaches in all of football for the last 20 years. They've had a winning season every year since 2012. I think a real battle of the brains as it relates to game planning and preparation, mainly defensively, and they're both defensive guys. So that was going to be mine, but let's move to a different game instead of Patriots-Seahawks, although that's one of the biggest games of the week. I'll go to Indianapolis because the Vikings get a chance to quickly get reacquainted with a source of more frustration than anything else in recent years. Xavier Rhodes, once he got the big contract, he never really quite lived up to it. He got benched from time to time. He'd have blown coverages. It seemed like he was always in Mike Zimmer's doghouse. So Xavier Rhodes starting at corner for the Indianapolis Colts versus the Vikings receivers. This is either his chance to stick it to Zimmer or it's Zimmer's chance to exploit all of those things about Xavier Rhodes that drove him crazy. Either way, we're going to find out when they get together on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. We are. He's in a similar defensive scheme that he was with Zimmer there. He doesn't have to match up and play man-to-man a lot. I will say with Xavier Rhodes, he does look like he's thinner and lost weight to where he's moving a little bit better. But, yeah, I would expect him to be very motivated, and he's going to want to prove to his old coach and team, like, you made a mistake, let me go, and all those type of things. And, of course, he's going to have two guys that they're pretty talented. Thielen and Jefferson, I like what I saw from Jefferson. He's a rookie at a few catches, and we know Thielen is, one of the better receivers in the game. All right. I'm going to go to one that's like, it's only sexy on one side, but I think it's a crucial matchup for the week. I'm going to that Eagles-Rams game. We talked about it a little earlier. There's issues in the interior part of the offensive line with Philadelphia. Aaron Donald is going to be matched up with an inexperienced Matt Pryor, number 69, at right guard, and I would expect that any big situation, they're going to try to find a way to go, okay, hey, it's 3rd and 7. We know they're going to pass. Let's move our D lineman around to where Aaron Donald's matched up on that guy and make it schematically hard for them to help out on that guy. And I think that, to me, is something I'm going to watch out. I mean, Aaron Donald ruins games like we talked about earlier against one of the best offensive lines in football with the Dallas Cowboys. What's he going to do against an offensive line that is spotty at best with pass protection, a quarterback that holds the ball too long at way too much? And that could be the difference in the game. It really can. If Wentz can not get strip sacked, fumbled, and maybe not take so many sacks, the Eagles can win it. But if this is one of those things where he's trying to make plays and he gets sacked 4 or 5 times and fumbles the ball once or twice, they're going to lose, and it'll probably be Aaron Donald at the center of all that chaos.
And it's another game where you and I look at the same game and have different matchups that are intriguing. And this one involves guys who would never be on the field at the same time. But it's Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, the top 2 picks of the 2016 draft.
Right.
And they're both still not – I mean, think about it. 2015, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. Neither got a second contract. Both finished their 5-year runs with their original teams, but now they're backups. Wentz and Goff got big contracts, but here we are a year later, and I still don't think we're 100% sure they deserve the title of franchise quarterback. And this is a good measuring stick to see where those guys currently are going head-to-head, because starting in 2017, that's when we've had this overflow of incredible quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of forgotten about Goff and Wentz having that draft pedigree. They're just kind of there. They don't get mentioned with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, the truly Deshaun Watson, all who have come after them. So I'm fascinated by that matchup, and that's not my official pick. It just flows out of that same game. My official pick for this one is Julio Jones against the Cowboys secondary, because early in that Rams-Cowboys game, it was Robert Woods, and I think they could have gone to Robert Woods even more than they did. He was only targeted 8 times, 6 catches for 105 yards. Julio Jones had 150 or more than 150 last week against the Seahawks. I don't know that the Cowboys can handle Julio Jones. If they can't handle Robert Woods, they can't handle Julio Jones. And we just assume Cowboys coming home, they're going to have about 20,000 people present. They should have won the game on Sunday. I'm not writing off the Falcons just because they got beaten soundly by the Seahawks, because the Seahawks may be the best team in the NFL this year.
They could be. And let's not forget, it was in the 3rd quarter. It was 14-12 on a 4th and 5. The game was still very much in the balance, and then Russell Wilson just made an unbelievable play, and the game turned from there with the big touchdown pass to DK Metcalf. So I hear you. I mean, that you talk about like a big game. Falcons, Cowboys, here we are, week 2. You two teams start out 0-2. Whoa. So that is something to watch out for, certainly. And Julio, I think, is a little banged up too, right, Mike? So we don't even know. I mean, I think he's got a little bit of a hamstring,
limited
right?
hamstring.
So
yeah,
we'll see where that goes. All right. I don't like to do this, but I'm going to do this because I don't want to double dip in games, but I just can't help it with this one.
Do you see any peas on my plate?
No, I don't.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So DK Metcalf versus Stefan Gilmore. That's where I'm going to go.
Back to the same game.
I know. I'm sorry. Maybe we need to make a rule of double dipping for now on, but it's too late for this one. DK Metcalf, the go-to target for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's making comments like he's the best receiver in football. Stefan Gilmore is viewed by most as the best corner in football. The Patriots play man-to-man a lot. So that is one I'm going to be tuned in to see, because they're going to put pressure on Gilmore with Seattle, because they're going to attack downfield with that passing game and deep passes that Russell Wilson could throw so great to DK.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.